Very good afternoon to you. Welcome along to the Scandinavium in Gothenburg, Sweden. It's day 3 of the World Figure Skating Championships, and today the second stage of the ice dance event, the original dance. This year it's a folk country dance, and very entertaining it is as well. So I hope you can stay with us all afternoon. We've got about 4.5 hours of ice dance for you live here from the Scandinavium, and it's going to be entertaining. There are 30 couples taking part in this ice dance event, and just to give you an idea of how they stand, if you didn't see our coverage of the compulsory dances, the top skaters going towards the end of the afternoon, but the standings after the compulsory dance, which was the Argentine tango, it's the French couple Isabelle Delobel and Olivier Schoenfelder leading, with Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir for Canada, who skated superbly in second place. Then the Russians Jana, Khokhlova and Sergei Novitski in third. The Italians skated well as well. They're in fourth place, Fiella and Scali. But the big news is that the Americans, who were tipped second favorite, I suppose, to battle it out with the French, had a fall on the second sequence. Tanis Belbin, Benjamin Augusto in fifth place. The Brits, Sinead and John Kerr, in eighth, which is very, very good for them. The competition will get better for them, as it will for the Canadians. So it's going to be a very, very interesting afternoon. We'll see how it pans out. We've got our expert ice dance commentator alongside, Nikki Slater, who will take us through this afternoon.
Yeah, great to be here. It's been a wonderful afternoon, but it's a little World War III out there at the moment. There's been some very, very close calls, couples nearly hitting each other. You're looking at Hájková and Vincour there, and he nearly got hit by one of the couples, then she was nearly hit straight afterwards. And what happens early on in the competition, these couples are fighting to make it. They take no prisoners, they don't have the experience of managing the ice, the adrenaline's running, they're all trying to do bits of their routine, and it's a little hairy. Worst I've seen it for quite a while. Nearly a couple of accidents out there.
Yeah, just to put it into perspective, these skaters out here now are trying to get into the top 24 to make it through into the free dance.
You are competing, and it'll look glorious and glamorous and everything like that, but don't have that experience of managing the ice. When you're the man leading the partnership, your job, part of your job on this warm-up is to watch the other couples, to manage your space. So you shout, somebody's in your way, you shout, and they move. And it's the same on the practice sessions. If your music is on and somebody's in the way of where you're going to go to, my words, you let them know, and they need to give way. And if you don't, you just pummel straight into them. Yeah. And that's just the way it is. And then they learn, they move next time. So it's quite a thing that you have to have. You have to have presence on the ice and be able to manage the space. Later on, we'll see another 5 couples on. They'll be taking more space, but they'll know there won't be any danger, I hope, of people hitting each other.
Yeah, just looking at the list here, there's 5 couples out there. 3 of the 5 couples competing in the World Championships for the first time.
Yes, and there's only 5 couples on the ice, but they all take up a lot of space. And when you're focusing just on doing your routine and you want to keep going on that little section, somebody's in the way, you just might keep going because you want the judges to watch you. You're trying to draw their eyes to you.
Absolutely. You can see there the standings after the compulsory dance. Brits down in 8th place. It was a very entertaining afternoon, wasn't it? A few surprises in there. Good to see the Canadians out there shaking things up in second place a bit.
And we have such a difference. We don't have Demireva Stavitsky here. There was obviously a very bad accident. A lot of you would know about that in the past. He got a $150,000 fine, I think was the outcome of that. They're on art on ice to earn the money to pay off the fine. We don't have Dubuel and Lauzon here, and of course Domnina and Shabalin. We don't have them here. So when you look at last year's result from the World Championships, you'd think Tanis Belbin and Benjamin Augusto would be first, Isabelle Delobel, Olivier Schoenfelder would be second, and Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir would be third. My gut feel is that the Canadians, Virtue and Moir, could really be pushing to move up there after what I saw on the compulsory dance. But I hope that the French can do enough to win, because I love their skating, and I hope it's reflected. They changed their free dance a little bit to put more pizzazz into it. I love it when it's smooth and calm as well, so we'll see. But for now, we're folk dancing.
We certainly are. And the warm-up for the first group over now. We've got 6 groups this afternoon, all live. That's the scene. Not too crowded at the moment, but it will fill up as the afternoon progresses. So here we go then. The first couple to skate this original dance. Remember, it's a country folk dance. They're lying in 22nd place, representing the Czech Republic, the Czech national champions for the past 3 years. 17th they were in the European Championships. This is Kamila, Hájková and David Vincour. And they've got for us a Czech polka to start off, followed by a bit of a Czech folk dance.
Gentle start, circular step sequence, working the edges, so not a lot of speed over the ice, makes it quite easy to do the turns, but they're very defined, so that the technical specialist can spot them and give them the merit they deserve. We'll be seeing, not the falls, but we'll be seeing a lot of those this afternoon. Everybody required to do what they call synchronized twizzles as part of the routine. Oh, what a pity. Not easy to be first to skate in a World Championships. And from the look of that, we're going to be getting a bit of a cultural education this afternoon, because all the couples are encouraged to use music from their nationality, their country of origin. And they did a good job. I thought, actually, they started off very well. And they looked smooth and quite sophisticated through the circular step sequence. But once the music got going, they seemed to lose their way a bit. Yeah, it's not a very high level routine at all. The speed over the ice, not great. Of course, drastic disaster during the step sequence on the twizzles for her with the fall. You know, it's one of those things when you have to do something, which are these twizzles, you can either do them on inside or outside edges. They become really a focus, and managing that under pressure can be very difficult. I always liken it to when you're standing on a wall. If it's low, it's easy to walk on. If you lift it high, it makes it more difficult. Now, this was one of the first step sequences. And what the judges are looking for is the edge depth as well as the difficulty of the turn. Here's the twizzle. I think this was the second one, so she's on a left outside turn. You won't see...
So right foot, actually.
Right foot. You won't see many of... Thank you. I'll get the left and right sorted out. You don't see many people falling on it. You might see people just stuttering on the twizzle. But if you get your balance right, it should just whiz round. The more turns you do, and of course you have to do it on different feet, the higher the level. Higher levels give you more marks. So within all of the elements in the original dance, you're looking at creating more difficulty for yourself to get your marks up.
It's their third season competing at this level. They've been twice 17th at the European Championships, 19th the year before that. Didn't compete in Worlds last year, but in 2006, 27th they were. They didn't make the cut into the free. Fingers crossed they can here, but that fall is not going to help their campaign at all. They're going to end up with a total of 65.97, 41.91 for the original dance, added with the score from the compulsories gives them that 65.97. So that's the standard at the moment.
I was chatting with Rostislav alongside them. He was giving me parenting skills. He's got a son who's 12. I've just had a little boy, so he was giving me some tips the other day.
Good stuff. Any parenting tips for Nikki? You can send them to us on our website.
Yes, that'd be good. Gennady Karponosov, just watching, former world champion, of course.
Okay, here we go. The second couple this afternoon. Representing Switzerland, the Swiss national champions for the second time this year. They're lying in 25th place. This is Leonie Krail and Oscar Peter. First World Championships for them.
So a spin is one of the required elements. There's 2 lifts in there. They can't be more than 6 seconds long. And a couple of step sequences, and you're looking at the transitions into them being seamless. So now we're in the straight line step sequence that goes right down the middle of the ice. Good edge depth. There are the twizzles. Changing edge, get back onto the other side. Just slightly out of alignment, but well done. Good turns. Using every inch of the rink. Circular step sequence, driving those edges, looking at different holds, staying in hold, not just leaving go to change. And if you do that, it's easier, so harder to stay in the hold and be doing the edges together. And marking the end of it, making it clear.
Really good. Very, very dramatic performance, and a choice of music that they really could get into. Flamenco suiting their style of skating, and that's so important, to choose the right music that reflects the character that you really excel at. That's Leonie, Krail, Oscar Peter from Switzerland, and remember they're in 25th place, a couple of places behind the Czech team who had a fall, so could be good news for them. They just want to pull up one place if they possibly can to make the free.
Well, much better than the Czechs for me. It had more power, it had better edge control, and you know, he's looking at somebody in 25th place, and there's quality in that routine and the way it's been put together. Strong in the lifts, and the twizzles was so much better. Obviously she fell, you know, for the girl before, so really the marks should be much higher. It's you know, we can compare and contrast the different elements within the original dance. ISU wanting to emphasize the issue of it's ice dancing, but there's sport, because in the past there has been the question at the Olympics, is it a sport, should it be in or not? Absolutely no question. Today, with these elements being in there's the spin. The girl changes position, it adds to the difficulty if the man's in a difficult position. Now there's those twizzles, lovely. You see, not changing feet before the second set of twizzles makes it more difficult. Now on the lifts, a difficult entry. He can't take his hands above his head, and I do hope she doesn't slip.
That looks dangerous to me, that.
Those blades are sharp. They could have had some more relationship between them in the way that the eye contact developed in the dance. Bernardi and Natalia.
Okay, the
great
Czech
expertise they bring into this partnership. Sorry, Chris.
No problem. The Czech couple, they got 41.91 in the original, and the target here for these two is to beat 65.97. It's looking good for them. 40.13 their best. They've smashed that with a 44.10. That will give them 66.48, so they go into the lead at the moment. Good news for the Swiss team. Could possibly make it into the free. That's really their target. Very well done.
Representing Poland, Joanna.
So lying in 24th place. They want to hang on to that if they possibly can. Love to move up. The Polish national champions. They were 19th in the European Championships this year. This is Joanna Budner and Jan Mościcki. First time for them in a World Championships as well. And they've got some Polish folk dance for us. First one's entitled Oberek.
And it gives you the opportunity, of course, to have the costume to fit with your national dance, to depict that. Straight line step sequence, good edge control. I always think the inside twizzle forward inside on the right foot, one of the easiest. It's what they do as the second part of that. down in the crouch position on the lift makes it more difficult. Say they're in Killian hold, doing good edges, needed to change into dance hold. Just shows you're on a knife edge.
Oh, what a pity. He hits himself on the head. Silly mistake, and it's so easily done. If you hit the wrong edge at the wrong time, the blade stops running and down you go. And unfortunately, after that mistake, she went down as well. So they're going to get deductions for that. I'm going to ask you a question here, Nikki. We're going to talk about costumes, I'm sure, quite a lot this afternoon. Does it make it more difficult when you've got a skirt that's that long, when you're trying to do the different holds and lifts and things like that? That's the first part of the question. The second part is, do you think it detracts from the lines? Because for me, you couldn't see a line because the skirt was so long and seemed to be in the way.
Okay, first part of the question, does it make it more difficult? Sometimes. It depends on that length. It's not too bad. If it just gets a little longer than that, sometimes you can get the chiffon-y bits, and they can go under your blade if you're down low in a movement. But you see, the bottom of the skirt's nowhere near his blades at there, so it's only if they got underneath his blades or he caught it, so it doesn't look bad. And you must work through your routine with your partner, dressed in your outfits before you get to the championship. We saw in the pairs last night, one of the guys, his arm was too tight, wasn't it, in his costume, and for some reason, and he had to stop halfway through. So that was surprising.
Just touching on that, he had a problem with a lymph gland or something, and that caused the problem in his arm, and it was something that he'd had since the European Championships and had trouble during the day yesterday, which we didn't know about, and that was the problem. His arm had gone numb. So if you saw that, they had to cut the costume halfway through the performance.
So this was a very good effort. The thing that would add to it would be more conviction in the dance. If you did that round the campfire, if you did it really with more freedom, and you were dancing boy and girl together, it would have more energy to it. They didn't capture that, so because they're still focusing on showing the ice dance moves within it. So very good, and it's on its way. But what we'll see from the top competitors is they do it with such freedom and flamboyance that it adds power.
Okay, well, it's not good news for them. They're going to be third. Those two deductions not helping them at all. So they go in behind the Czech couple, and it looks as though we may not be seeing them in the free dance. Disappointment for them, but they're going to gain so much experience here. So now the couple representing Bulgaria, they're lying down in 30th place. All about experience for them. Another couple, first time in the World Championships. They were 24th in the Junior World Championships just a week or so ago. This is 19-year-old Ina Demireva and 20-year-old Juri Kurikin. And this is a Serbian folk dance by Goran Brejovic.
I love the folk dance as a concept in itself. It gives such a freedom and range for the skaters to interpret from their own countries. Just not sure that Morris dancing would have worked from England. not comfortable, and they're not aligned on the twizzles. Hasn't got the ability yet to be able to make it look smooth and flow. Balance point on the lift.
Well, that was a program of two halves. They really seemed to get going once the music got into a faster tempo. Loved the end of the program. Good effort from Ina and Juri.
And she is struggling out there really at this point in time with the development of the couple. Often you'd find that you'd be asking the guy to catch up, but she was having difficulty with the elements. Her level of skating not yet caught up to some of the things she's being asked to do. Not confident at all. So that shows so much against when you're seeing it live here, and you can see the depth of all the edges, particularly on the step sequence. You can see that she wasn't as aligned, she wasn't as powerful on the edges. There's the end of the twizzle. You see that they should be totally in line, and not at all. And you have to do the second set of twizzles the other way around, and that really not acceptable to have to pull off like that. But a good balance point. 6 seconds in the lift, you have to get down. In the crouch makes it more difficult for the man. Each part of the couple needs to have a difficult position. If you do a one-arm lift, the girl needs to be away from the man's body, not using his body as a support. And they're doing that well there. I think it's one of those times where they'll be watching and seeing the speed and the way that the other skaters are delivering and learning from that.
Certainly, they've competed in the Junior Worlds for the last 2 years. Never got inside the top 20 there. And they will have gained so much experience just being on the ice with the better couples on the practice sessions. So Juri's enjoyed himself this afternoon. I think it was a tough road for Ina. So likely to be in 4th of the 4 that we have had so far. And you can see there their season's best are just 37 points. With the marks there, that's going to give them a total of 35.63 for the original dance. And that's 53.38 in total. So they're about 9 points behind the Polish couple. So 4th it is for Ina and Juri. A little bit of makeup. You should get in the queue, Nikki, I think.
No, I really do need to be in the queue today, I tell you.
Okay, one more couple to go in this opening group, and this should be fun. They were 10th in the 4 continents, the national champions of Australia. 28th they are after the compulsory dance. Here, skating an Aboriginal dance. Forest Funk is the title. the skaters, Danielle O'Brien and Gregory Merriman.
Start, great idea, lovely music, getting down into the edges, and the crouch very reminiscent of first of the Shanies that did their wonderful Indian routine way back. Four turns, working to get the levels up. Harder when you hold the foot behind you, always a risk. If you trip, you can't stop yourself falling. Change your position on the spin, lifting the level. Easy on the holds on the diagonal step sequence and losing the diagonal a little. Just Killian hold for a lot of that.
Well done. Well, they really took the concept and ran with it. I enjoyed that a lot, and hats off to the ISU for coming up with something a little novel for this original dance here. It's going to really entertain us through the afternoon, and you can see the skaters being challenged by those technical elements as well. And just to put it into perspective, I mean, Australia is not a big skating nation. You know, where I live in Chicago, I'm about 3/4 of an hour outside of Chicago. There's 60 rinks between me and the city. 60. There must be a handful of ice rinks in Australia.
Well, I was in Sydney. I think last year there was 3, I think, in Sydney at the time.
Right.
But there's more than I thought, actually. The major cities all have them. Goodness knows what the fuel bills are to keep the ice frozen. But this as a concept, great. I thought at times he could have got more down in the crouch. Here's one of the lifts. He's in the spread eagle position. That considered to be more difficult. And we talk about these levels all the time. There's the twizzles. So looking at the alignment, good. A little bit slower, and he was just struggling a little on the second one. But a lot of the routine was in what we call Killian hold. Now this is a side-by-side position, which is quite basic. So they need to vary the hold more throughout the routine. Good into this lift, very quick flick out. Remember, you've got to get to the balance point in a second. Hold it as long as you can. Good focus. The flick out was good. But if you see that position at the end, he could be leaning more down and more forward with his body. That takes more energy, but it gives more emphasis and impact when you're watching it. But a very good effort.
Certainly would. Love the costumes. I think you should try that makeup.
I think it would improve things.
It would.
Yes, anything would improve things.
I was going to say, it couldn't be worse.
What did Philippe say the other day? He said, you have the body of a young man, but your face looks like a new father.
A new father.
A new father. A little wrecked, but perhaps a little tired. Love the makeup, the way it works with the costume. Great fun. Adds to the overall impression.
It certainly does. Remember, they're 28th going into this. 37.44 their personal best, and they're going to take those marks. That good enough to put them into 4th place at this stage. A new season's best for them with that 39.88, a total of 60.12, and that's 4th place for them out of the 5 that we've had so far. Here with some Russian folk music. This is Hye Yu and Ramil Sarkulov. They're lying in 26th place going into this original.
Smooth on the spin. Girl getting a foot to a head deemed as more difficult. Some of the girls wearing flesh-coloured gloves so that they don't cut their hands on the skate as they pull it up to the head. Oh! They lost concentration. Very slow on those twizzles, makes it easier to do. Still not really nailing them. Gosh, she's not having a good day. Circular step sequence completed.
Yes, that really was a tough skate for Ramil. But Hye Yu doing her best to really sell the program throughout that routine, and you could see him really struggling on lots of the different turns, wasn't he?
He was. Whether it's a confidence thing, the holds aren't open enough. He's not really holding her in a strong position, not completely over his skate and firm over the flowing edge again and again. So I think from the way that he maybe lost confidence right at the start, or maybe he's just not yet got enough ability to do the technical content, because we start to take it for granted. We see it again and again and again, and you can almost think, gosh, this is easy. But if you try and do it,
absolutely.
Me.
Yeah, just to put it into perspective, with the skate has a rocker on it of an 8-foot circle, and to do those twizzles, when you're turning from forwards to backwards, you've got to very subtly just roll your skate your weight onto the front of the skate, and then to do the turn from backwards to forwards, you've got to move it back again. But it's so subtle, isn't it?
And maintain your core body strength, and to be able to lift up so that you're holding yourself like a ballet dancer would, like any dancer would if you were doing ballroom or anything. Your core body strength so important, and if you haven't got that mastered so you can produce it under pressure, then you do your thing, Chris, oscillate, and if you oscillate, you're lost.
Certainly are. It's important to have your weight over the skate and really let the skate run for you. You can get a lot out of a skate if you've got your weight in the right place and leaning into the circle or onto the edge. If you're tight, nervous, the knees aren't working, the skate doesn't work anywhere as well. And that really was the case, certainly for Ramil here. He was having a battle with his skates. So remember, they're in 26th place. They were looking to go up a couple of places if they possibly can to make it into the free dance, but I don't think that's really going to happen. Remember, we've got the Swiss couple leading, Krail and Peter, with 66.48. Then it's the Czechs, followed by the Poles at the moment. Now, when you're looking at this, the standard will go up later on this afternoon, all of the top couples going in the final two groups. So 33.78 their personal best, and they're going to go into 5th place. 35.08, 56.93. It's a new season's best for them, so very well done for that. But it will be 5th overall. So now the Austrian national champions, lying in 21st place. Yeah. Here is Azui looking on. This is 19-year-old Barbara Silna and 26-year-old Dmitry Matsiuk. Got an Austrian folk dance for us. It's called the Kukuks Yodler Polka. Sounds like Nicky in the morning. How do you know? I saw you at breakfast this morning.
Fun music, and the phasing and timing of it enables you to get the elements in there. But there's those twizzles, and you can see he was having just a problem on the second one to hold it. Difficult lift, difficult position for both partners, standing forwards on that running edge. If you catch your toe, you will fall. Much easier to do it on the one foot going backwards for the man if you're standing on. You're going to take that as a part of the lift. Circular step sequence. Emphasizing the edges, but sometimes missing the timing a little. Great fun. Lovely fast lift to end the program. Really enjoyed it. It was entertaining. And of course, technically not that difficult, but certainly what they did well. A little bit of polish there, and they built up a rapport with each other, and that transpired across to the audience here. Getting good applause. Yeah, it was a fun routine. and some of the choreography within it worked really well. The outfits worked great, but there were parts when they were trying so hard to build up their element score, particularly on the circular step sequence, that they weren't fitting the steps to the beat of the music. Now the skaters have to emphasize the main beat of the music, that part of the prescribed rules in the original dance. But you know, you need to be able to stay, to me, in tune and in time with the music, and not ignore it, even if you're doing the steps and building the edges. Second part of the twizzles, we didn't quite see, but he missed it. Now, that second arm of his mustn't go above his head. You can't see he stood on one foot there, but you'll know there are toe rakes on the front of the blades that can be used to help with the jumps and help with toe steps. But if you catch them, if you get your balance point wrong in the lifts, that can be difficult. Now you've got 6 seconds in the lift. You can spin as many times as you can get round, but you have to be down in 6 seconds. A technical specialist will have the stopwatches on at the practice and woe betide you if you are just a fraction over that 6 seconds.
Well, even on practice?
Well, they'll put it in the memory bank and they'll be looking sharply. Yes, you're right. They don't mark on the practice, so they mark for here, but so I was wrong. But woe betide you when you do it in the competition if it's over 6 seconds. The stopwatches will be running.
Okay, you've been warned. Nicky's stopwatch is running
so
too.
If you're sat at home and you've got your stopwatches on, if you're a coach, you would be doing the training with the stopwatch going, so you can actually measure, is it within that 6 seconds? So you're trying to push the envelope so you can get as much content as possible, but you've got to get it down on the button. 6 seconds. Did you get 6 seconds?
I've got the 6 second thing, and I think if anybody's sat at home with their stopwatch out, they should probably borrow your anorak.
That's the detail of it. That's the detail.
So let's focus on these marks. 18.40 the presentation score. Where's that going to have them? It's good news for them. It's going to be 71.75, I think, will be the total score for them. 46.90, so a season's best. You can't ask for more than that, especially on the big stage of a World Championships. So first place, and that really is their allotted slot at this stage. So at the moment, doesn't look as though they're going to drop any. We're watching the action on the ice, but backstage there's plenty of action going on as well. Skaters warming up for the later groups. We've still got another 3.5 hours or so of this competition. So next up, it's the Hungarian couple. Sandor Nagy sends them on their way, lying in 27th place. 21st at the European Championships this year. The current junior Hungarian national champions. This is Kristina Bata and Adam Toth. And they've got some South American folk music for us entitled Inca.
So the tempo of the music that they've chosen allows them to do these slow, deep edges, which fits into the requirements of the rules, so that the technical specialist can see the detail that you're doing. Straight line step sequence. Difficult position for him in this, and her in the start. And it's a combination spin, so a change of position lifts the level. Building up the speed, a lot more open.
Well, certainly a very enjoyable program. The program, incidentally, choreographed by Nora Hoffman. Not competing anymore. And this is a young team. He's 22, but Christina here, just 16 years of age. She's the youngest competitor in the ice dance event, so looking good for the future for this young couple. First Worlds, as I said, and their first season competing at senior international competition.
I can't say anything about that costume, but I hope the sellotape to hold it in place. That's the only thing I can mention. Back to the skating. The first half of it, to me, it wasn't that entertaining. It was because they were slowly using the system. They were playing into the system, and so it didn't really have a wow factor. More speed in the second half, more open, and very good elements. That was so that was a standout part of the routine. The flick into the last lift and the balance point was strong. The spin was good. Here we see the straight line step sequence. We've got, if you've just joined us this week, we've got a camera that runs along in the air beside the skaters. Some of you have mentioned that the camera work isn't that good. Some of the cameras not being able to keep up with the skaters. Of course, we're watching it live, not watching the monitors so that much, so we don't notice that. We will pass on your comments, but it's not Eurosport Pictures here, it's SVT, Swedish Television, who are the host broadcasters. So if you do have a comment, maybe you find them on the web and you'd pass on your views to them, that'd be great, but we'll try and pass them on for you as well. So I thought the end, the power they were showing at the end, once that comes into the free dance, that will be great to see. And I'm sure the technical specialists will have been eagle-eyeing those elements and the level of them and calling that to the judges then looking at the grade of execution, how they were done, and they were performed well.
So if they're going to make it into the free, they've got to move up, 3 places. 27th they are at this moment in time, so deep breath. They're looking for some good marks.
They've been a lot stronger than some of the skaters we've seen so far.
Okay. It's going to be 42.64, their segment score, so that's the score for the original dance, and added to the total from the compulsory dance will give them 64.08. So a new season's best for them on this section, and that will have them in 4th place. So looks like it's good news for them at the moment. 4th place for Christina Barta and Adam Toth of Hungary. Trying to work it out, who's to come, and will that be good enough? The tunnel just behind the judges is just to the right of your picture there. That's where the skaters wait to go out onto the ice. Our next couple, representing Belarus, that's Arina Lobacheva, watching on, who coaches them in Moscow. Lying in 29th place, this is Ksenia Shmernina and Igor Maidstrov. First World Championships for them, a comparatively new team. They go into this lying in 29th place. Just teamed up at the end of last season, and last November they got married. No prizes for guessing this is an Egyptian dance.
Excellent position in the spin and the change, very smooth. Far apart on this straight line step sequence, getting closer now. Oh, he lost the edge. Very good balance point. Good on the single-handed lift too. She was well away from his body.
Very enjoyable. They captured the mood of the music well there. Well, until last year when these two teamed up, Ksenia Shmiranina, she skated for Russia. Made the move to skate for Belarus when she teamed up with Igor here. And seems to be paying off. They a team that gel well. First season for them, and that's not easy.
I mean, when they start off and go out there, if this was the last group, they wouldn't look out of place. The way that they're presented, the way that they match together, that's so important. The aesthetics of how you look as a couple on the ice. They look very good together. They don't have the power yet, but it's a very promising couple for me. Some of the elements within that, very strong indeed. The weak point was in the straight line, the two step sequences for me. The straight line step sequence very far apart. He missed it, lost it halfway through, and the circular step sequence, I'm sure in technical content there will be a good level there, but as far as the interpretation is concerned, fitting with the music, again, it ignored it for the time just to fit in with the rules. So it's squaring the circle, really. It's making it all work so that the step sequences work with the music. This is ice dancing. See the changing of position within the spin. The girl with her foot to her head is deemed as more difficult, and if you can't do that, you have to learn it. So flexibility, big part of the name of the game. There you see, lost it, got it back in though. So changing edge and then changing feet. You're allowed to just do a couple of steps in between the two twizzles. More difficult to stay on an edge and push into the next twizzle though. And again, she's pulling the foot to the head. Always an issue when you write a rule that you find people doing the same thing. If you say it's more difficult to put the foot to the head, you find everybody in all the lifts is trying to do that. And then we start to see a bit of sameness within some of the lifts if we're not careful. And everybody watches everybody else's videos and then copies the new ones.
It's interesting, isn't it, how important the choreography is becoming, because it is a challenge to get those technical elements into a routine and still portray the music that you've chosen, do it within the time limit, stick to the beat. Very difficult.
It is. And also the lifts, if you've only got 6 seconds, you might not be landing on the beat of the music. Doesn't matter, you've got to get out of it at that time. Or you do a shorter lift, then you don't get the same level in your technical elements.
So these marks are going to put them in 7th place overall. They've got a new season's best on the original, so that's good news. Well done for that. But it is 7th overall. We've had 9 teams so far. That's pretty much their allotted slot.
Representing China and performing the Jewish folk dance.
So lying in 26th place, this is the final couple in this second group. Skating to Hye Yu. This is Yu and Chen Wang. Didn't compete in the World Championships last year, but were 22nd a couple of years ago. Runners-up in the Chinese National Championships last year.
Quality from the off, developing speed very quickly, that important. To the music.
Yes. No, I wasn't expecting anything like that. There was a real quality to that. They seemed light, pretty smooth. I enjoyed it. You're shaking your head, but I enjoyed it. It was easy. But it was nicely skated.
Yeah, well, they started off and I thought the quality of the skating was good, and then I'm just a little gobsmacked by it, really. I think it might be to do with a cultural transition. We're trying to do Hye in. The costumes aren't working for me, the choreography isn't working for me. The second part of the mark, when you get past the technicals, the presentation score, so transitions didn't work for me. There was times when, in terms of composition and choreography, the music was going da 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 da, and they're spinning very, very slowly out there. And
how was the music going?
Da, 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 I could sing if you like, maybe not. But if you just turned on the television, you'd think the wrong music is playing. So you have to pay the price for that. The step sequence very slow over the ice with the twizzles right at the end. So although they're doing what's required with the changes of edges, it's easier because it's very slow. And it's just not got the passion. So for me, of everybody we've seen so far in the first two groups, I like Krail and Peter, the Swiss, that are in second place overall at the moment. I think they've been the best. And this, I think they're in second place overall at the moment anyway. And this for me would not be up there. If these get high presentation marks, it's because of the group they're in to me, rather than how they skated. Because there's no way on earth, if you put that side to side with the Swiss, you'd say it was a better presentation. And I think technically too, I'd have to look at them side by side and evaluate them, but the Swiss would be better there too. I'm sorry if it sounds so harsh, but they're just not delivering.
Well, that's okay. The Swiss are ahead of them going into this. And these two lying in 26th place.
You know, and Genrich will know this and be working with them to build it, but gosh, you know, there's a lot there that just was not working. And it's always this battle. You've got the rules, but you have to also meet with a presentation. Skating skills, transitions we're looking at, the linking footwork and movements, the interpretation and the timing is one significant part of the presentation score. It was severely lacking for them, I'm afraid.
Okay, 26.66, their technical score. So dropped on the presentation down to 17.31. So that will give them a total of 67.87, second place for them. So they go ahead of the Swiss.
We were talking about ice rinks in Australia just earlier on. Kim emails us from Australia. Thank you. We're getting comments from everywhere. Iceland to Turkey to Australia. Your comments about ice rinks in the city of Melbourne. 4 million people, only one Olympic ice rink. Difficult to train. We need more.
Okay, so that's how they stand. And indeed, the Chinese couple do move up a place. The Austrians leading, and the Swiss, then the Czech couple. That's the situation further down. We've had 10 couples. We've got an ice resurface coming up now. Still 4 groups to go. And all the medal contenders towards the end of the afternoon.
The weekend's crucial act.
Welcome back. You rejoin us live here in the Scandinavium. It's the third day of the World Figure Skating Championships. If you have just joined us, it's the original dance, the second stage of the ice dance event, and we've got a resurface going on out on the ice at the moment, and the dancers still to come, warming up and going through their routines, as you can see, getting ready. But we're now going to take a look back at some of the action from yesterday in the pairs free program. The first medals of these World Championships decided yesterday, and the bronze medal going to this Canadian team of Dubé and Davison. They were fourth after the short program, but their inspiring performance to the Blower's Daughter soundtrack was just sensational. Completed a double twist, side-by-side double axel sequence, and a triple salto, as well as smooth lifts with good changes of position. The spins and spirals were all graded at level 4, and Dubé and Davison eventually earned 124 points to get that bronze medal. Skating to The Myth, the Chinese movie soundtrack, Zhang and Zhang produced a huge triple twist at the beginning of the program, and a big throw triple loop and salto, as well as very, very complicated lifts. The 2006 Olympic silver medalists earned a level 4 for all 3 of them, and a level 3 for the spiral and the side-by-side spins. They struggled with the solo jumps though, and eventually collected 123.46 points for this performance, and were ranked 3rd in the free skate. But overall they slipped from 1st to 2nd. It was their third medal at the World Championships, after a silver in 2006 and a bronze in 2005. Well, the gold medal went to the German team of Savchenko and Solkovi. Beautiful performance. Not flawless, though, but it was enough to win gold. The music from Cirque du Soleil. Just enjoy it. Well, it wasn't perfect, but at the end of the day, that was enough to give them the gold medal. The construction of the program, the technical difficulty of the program won through, and we caught up with them after their performance. So congratulations, you're the newly crowned world champions. Well, after the mistakes in the short program, were you able to put that to the back of your mind? And Leonie says, yes, it's there, but you try to forget it. It's a new day and you always have to fight hard, especially if you want to finish at the top. We asked Robin, what was the moment that was most emotional for you? When you saw the results on the screen in the hall or when you stepped onto the podium? Well, he said directly after the performance, I saw it on the screen and you see the score, you make a quick calculation in your head and recognize that it could be enough. For me, that was overwhelming. Well, it's been a hard year for you this year with the German Federation. Is that something that you can put aside, having a medal hanging around your neck now? Well, Robin says, yeah, naturally, we think about it, but you have other things on your mind. We performed and we performed well in a certain way. But for sure, today, tomorrow, you look at different problems every day. Problems will always be there. So, the 2008 World Figure Skating Pair Skating Champions crowned here in the Scandinavian last night. That together with their European titles. Fantastic achievement. And that's how it looked on the podium. A wonderful event, and of course the medals decided in the ladies event this evening. Can Costner stay on the top of the podium? Hope you can join Nikki and me for that, but we've got more ice dancing coming up very shortly. We're off for a quick break, but when we come back it'll be group number 3 out on the ice. They were runners-up in the Russian National Championships this year, go into this original dance line in 15th place. In fact, the 2 Russian teams in this group locked together. 13th in the Europeans they were. It's the first time in the Worlds for Katerina Rubleva and Ivan Schaefer. This is a Ukrainian folk dance titled Gopak.
Good start, straight from the off, creating the move. Staying on the same foot to get the contra rotation more difficult. Well done. The transition to the lift, change of position within the lift makes it more difficult, very quick. better phasing of music, allowing the circular step sequence to fit with those deep edges that are necessary. Good edge work. Very good.
Great expression, good speed across the ice, and very, very enjoyable to watch. These two currently ranked second in Russian nationals, as I said before, but really they're the third-ranked couple because Domnina Shabelin didn't compete in the Russian national championships and have had to withdraw from the world championships. They would have been the red-hot favourites, really, because he has a knee injury. So if they're watching, we wish them well. And they will be missed here because they would have contributed to a fantastic competition.
Yeah, they would. His knee injury that he'd had, I think, an operation just in December, as I understand it, and thought it was all right for Europeans, but it flared up straight after the Europeans. Couldn't get to be here. Bit of a risk to go to Europeans, I would have thought, but you just have to take it sometimes. But this routine here, capturing the spirit of the folk dance. So the second mark, the presentation score, for me, they're ticking the boxes in the terms of the composition, the choreography, the skating skills, the overall presentation itself. So much to admire. The change in the lift, remember 6 seconds, if you just joined us, there's 2 lifts in the original dance, you can do it for 6 seconds. They did one, we'll probably see it where they change position within that 6-second time frame. Very difficult to get up, get a difficult position, change a position, get down, all within the time frame. And good construction with the music too. You can have different pieces of music within the original dance. You can actually have vocal music if you like. There's the single arm lift. Now you see she has to be away from his body, not resting on him. And they did that well.
So there's the team. Alexander Zvinin and Arina Zuk. The coach's team in Moscow.
Very good job here.
So just to remind you, it's the Austrians leading at the moment with 71.75, but these two should and will go shooting ahead of them. 49.52 will be their score for the original dance, and that will give them a total of 78.66. So they go shooting into the lead. They take their allotted slot. There's been a little bit of a movement down the lower ranks. The Chinese couple have done well, moved up a couple of places. Austrians in second. So we're staying with the Russian team at the moment. They're lying in 16th place, just 1 place behind the team that we've just seen. Bronze medalists in the Russian national championships. Here's skating to a Russian folk dance, Kalinka, you'll know that one. It's Ekaterina Bobrova and Dmitry Soloviev. These two, the junior world champions last year.
I sing this, Kalinka, in the Brighton Welsh Male Voice Choir. It's good. You wanted to know that, didn't you?
Don't get carried away now, will you?
In the combination spin to start. phasing, nuances of the turns. Fast on those twizzles. Very difficult position. Oh yes, I really enjoyed that. Beautiful speed across the ice, the fastest twizzles that we've seen today, there's no question about that. And Nick has been talking about how difficult it is to choreograph a routine with all of the elements and the time limits that you have on everything. And to me, they used the phasing of the music perfectly. It worked, didn't it?
Really good.
Very, very entertaining, powerful, and yet softness in there as well. It takes a lot of thinking through the routine, the editing of the music, getting it the right bits in the right place.
Well, the choreographer Natalia Ulyanova, so congratulations to her. Good job.
Yeah, that to me was the best skating we've seen, and it's this finesse that you can get on the edges when you've got the power in reserve, and they were demonstrating that. The serpentine step sequence, I wasn't that clear on it in terms of if you've got a diagonal sequence, it's a lot clearer to see. I couldn't see the phasing, but that's not a bad thing if it's integrated within the overall routine. But what really worked was the taking like that lift into the stop of the music. Remember, 6 seconds, get into it, hold it for the 4, out on the 1. The crowd loved it, so it was a piece of entertainment. The presentation mark was working. Flow and effortless glide running through it.
Super.
Yeah, I liked it.
Well, there's only 2/100ths of a point separating the two Russian teams. Remember, these two are behind the two that we just saw. I'd certainly have them in front, wouldn't you?
I would certainly have them in front. Always, I kind of want to go through it technically. I want to kind of play it slow motion and look at all the technical elements side by side and see what levels they were, because then I'd know more what I was talking about technically. But overall, the presentation, they were better.
Okay.
I'm trying to kind of hedge my bets.
You are. You're sitting on the fence, are you? Is it uncomfortable?
It's always uncomfortable with the technical mark at the moment.
For goodness sake, don't fall off, will you?
No.
Because we need you.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Let's find out. Was it good enough to take the lead? 52.44, their season's best. 30.66.
My vote is it is.
That's good. That's very, very good indeed. It's going to be good news for Bobrova and Soloviev. A new season's best for them, and that's good enough to put them, nearly 4 points, 3.5 points ahead of their teammates. So good news, they're going in the right direction in this original dance, and we like that. Good to see. Nikki, you can get off the fence now.
Oh, thank goodness.
So lying in 13th place, pressure on them now after seeing that performance, representing Lithuania. They were the Lithuanian champions last year. This is 20-year-old Catherine Kopeli and 22-year-old Deveras Stagninius. And they're skating to the two guitars, a Russian gypsy dance.
Good changes of edge on the turns. Powerful couple, covering a lot of ice. To the single foot, so assured.
Fantastic. Well, he couldn't have given that anymore. There's no doubt about that. But was it better than the Russians that went before them? We'll have to wait and find out. These two have made massive progress this year. Last year in the World Championships, they were in 23rd place, and they go into this in 13th, 10 places. That's massive.
It's great that that can happen now with the marking system, and things do move around so much more in the ice dancing. Not, to me, better than Bobrova and Soloviev that went before them. But still, it is a real step up here. The quality in the start of that dance, in particular the speed over the ice and the power in their edges. The first part of that original dance for me better than the second. The end got a little frenetic. They're trying to emphasize the music, and that's all well and good, but just got a little more frenetic than cultured for me. I don't know. It was just missing the connection between them. But look at that. That's the circular step sequence. It just fitted into the routine. You really wouldn't have known it was a required element. Very difficult on the lifts, though, and that will lift their technical score. See, he went onto the single foot straight into it. He's not down a crash, but on one foot makes it difficult. Look, no hands. Don't try that at home. This is why they've been moving up. Just for that glimpse from the camera at the top. There's the twizzles. Shows their ice coverage, but that very impressive.
You know, just looking at the marks from 13th to 18th place, there's less than a couple of points in it. So we're going to see some movement around here. There really is an opportunity for couples to move about. And I think that's good news for Bobrova and Soloviev, who really did skate out of their skins, didn't they?
Yes, and some of the skaters say, you know, we're doing the same thing in this championship to what we did in the other, but the level we were given was different. So sometimes it's how you do that element. You have to stay so focused out there. You're trying to give it everything you've got, but you have to keep in your mind, what am I doing, and be precise as well.
Well, these two 7/10 ahead of the Russians. 52.88 was the score of the Russians on the original dance. Let's see if they can get close to that. It looks good to me, but it may not be good enough. It's mighty close. 51.66, so it's not going to be good enough. 81.58 will be their score. They get a new season's best on the original dance, but it's the Russians who stay in front, and the Lithuanians are going to drop a place. It looks like we'll have to wait and see how it pans out, because there's going to be all sorts of juggling around, I think, around the middle of this competition. Very, very tight indeed. But a good performance. Well done.
Representing Canada and performing a Russian dance, here are
Tanith Belbin, who we'll see going in the penultimate group, 23rd to skate with Benjamin Augusto. Going to put the events from the compulsory dance right behind them. We've got the Canadians on the ice now. The silver medalists in Canadian National Championships this year. This is 18-year-old Caitlin Weaver and 21-year-old Andrew Poje. And they've got some Russian folk dance for us. The Road to Vladivostok.
And this year, for the first time, you can use props. Hence the scarf, and see how that can be integrated into the original dance. Very, very difficult. Hold the back position on the lift. Great strength and balance. Tying in the scarf so it disappears with a straight line step sequence. Nice end on the twizzles. Well held. Loads of energy in that. Perhaps a little rough around the edges in places, but an enjoyable performance nonetheless. 20th place, remember, after the compulsory dance. Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poje. 5th in 4 continents.
20th last year, their first time in at the World Championships. So looking to improve if they can.
Exciting couple, great to go for using the prop. If there is an opportunity of doing something with the new rules, take it. Why aren't the other skaters using it so much? I don't know. It's more difficult, of course, to have something within the program. As part, it could be come off as part of the costume. She might not have been able to tie it back on, might have fallen on the floor, and all sorts of things like that. But it worked. You should see the look Chris Howarth is giving me right now. I cannot continue. I can't work in these conditions. When you look at me like that.
Contact your lawyer.
Look at this. Look at this. Almost complete alignment with his leg to hers. Gosh, it's a great balance point. But if he got slightly too far back, there's no helping him there. So that was very good. The second lift, I think he got the prize for spinning the most that you could in 6 seconds so far. Don't know how many rotations he managed to get, but it was rather a lot.
It certainly looked very impressive.
And watch, if we see the end of these twizzles, what you've noticed is a slight nuance of the rise and fall of the leg just there. I like that. All the little touches.
I'm pleased for you.
Thank you. They had a bad stumble in the circular step sequence where she nearly fell.
There it was. It was a good recovery, though, wasn't it?
It was.
They really did get away with that.
It's quite close to it being in front of the judges. I'm sure they wouldn't have missed it. But it only took a moment. Didn't take away from the overall performance at all, and it sold it so well. They were trying to do the steps on the circular step sequence to faster music too, and it's more difficult to do it because you've got to get the turns quicker, and in the dance hold it's harder than when you're separate and side by side. So that's a good thing as well.
It certainly is. This a couple that made rapid progress last season, not so much this season, and they made a coaching change at the beginning of the year, now coached by Matthew Gates and Shailene Bourne. So where's that going to have them? It'll be 4th place overall, 48.62 on the original, 76.36 will be their total. 4th behind the second of the Russians, Rubleva and Schaefer.
It's probably because of the stumble, maybe.
Yeah, it didn't help them, did it? So words of encouragement there from Shailene. So the final couple in this third group, we've got another 3 groups to go. They're representing the Ukraine. Runners-up in the Ukrainian National Championships. Galitche and Nikolai Morozov send them out on their way. Lying in 14th place. This is Anna Zadorozniuk and Sergei Verbilo. Ukrainian folk dance. You've heard it before. Go Pack.
Again, smooth out of the spin. Good positions within it. Having difficulty at the end of the second set of twizzles. All the skaters at this level doing 4 rotations on each foot. good integration of little touches within the circular step sequence, keeping it well focused to the judges.
Wow, electrifying pace, and there's no doubt about it, Sergei really does have great use of his edges. Lovely, lovely, soft, deep knee bend executed throughout that performance. I enjoyed it, but it's so tough. I still think those the Russians, the junior world champions of last year, have skated out of the box and probably going to stay at the top.
It was a better routine than that for me. There was one point within this, it didn't come over as much as the Russian one has done, or even the Canadian one, really, for me. And why was that? A little disjointed. There was a part in the choreography before the first step sequence where they actually were just using up space, so that they weren't really skating over the ice. They were waiting for the music change to fit into the straight line step sequence. So I thought
there was listening to your commentary. That's what it was.
There was a missed couple of seconds there, and you can't afford to waste anything in getting the ice coverage. And you know, it worked, but I wondered why that was done. But no doubt there's a very good reason for it.
Did you find it a bit repetitive? Sort of the kicking of the boot and then...
I found some of it was clever, like within the circular step sequence, just putting the little flicks that had the folk dance within the circular step sequence rather than just doing the edges. So that worked, but it didn't excite me. It was a little, I don't know what it is, a bit disjointed, might be a way of putting it. I think one of the things that was missing was the relationship between the pair of them, the dancing with each other. It was a lot focused to the judges, which is stage front. But I'd like her to be, that's it, look at him. A little bit more through it, because when we see the couple dancing together, that adds more for me. It adds more of my enjoyment of the man and the woman dancing together. Maybe a bit more of that would add more excitement.
Okay, here we go.
And some more unison too, really.
So let's see where they will slot in. Oh, it doesn't look good. 50.86, their personal best there. Just not going to quite make that. It's going to be 4th place for the Ukrainians. They were looking for more than that. 4th, there's confirmation, 78.48. They slot in ahead of the Canadians, behind the second of the Russian teams, but it really is great news for Katerina Bobrova and Dmitry Soloviev. Okay, here we go then. The Canadians in action here. They were 3rd in Canadian nationals this year, 6th in the 4 continents. Here skating to the log driver's waltz, Ali Hann-McCurdy and Michael Coreno.
Fast, good ice coverage. Easy and open in some of the basic holds and to run up to this combination spin. behind the back, more difficult to do the twizzles. You see, just lost alignment. Should have pulled out.
Well, they went from the log driver's waltz to the Newfoundland country dance. That was Ali Hann-McCurdy and Michael Coreno from Canada, coached by Victor Kratz, who's down on ringside there, just making his way round to the kiss and cry. And there was a grimace on his face during that set of twizzles at the end of the step sequence there, where Michael just lost it a bit, keeping the character going right through the end here. Was a little bit rough around the edges, wasn't it, Nicky?
Gosh, it was. It's a good idea, but it didn't really come off for me, I'm afraid. It was the... You did that look again.
It's my face. What's going on? I have this look all the time. I walk around with it every day.
I know. I think that there could have been more humour put into that, because it was a fun routine. The backdrop of the music made it fun. But gosh, the twizzles were really not very good at all. Doing the second twizzle with the hand behind the back is more difficult. And that's what he was trying to do. I've got my hands behind my back. I'm demonstrating to you.
I hope you can see this back home.
Turn, but he was going offline and he could have felt it and seen it. And it was just like there was nothing he could do to stop it. That's not what you're wanting to see. The basic skating in some of the transitions was very open and very easy, so it was easy for them to get speed up, but it won't get as high a level as people who are doing more difficult, intricate moves.
Well, it could have been a lot worse, that, couldn't it?
So I think there's the basis for something that could be, you know, it could have had a lot more fun about it, could have worked for the audience more. Just didn't really come off, I'm afraid.
And the first World Championships for them, 6th in the 4 continents, as I said before. Train in a suburb of Vancouver where they have 8 rinks under one roof. Take your pick, really.
Big roof.
Big roof, yeah. Goodness me. Imagine that, 8 ice rinks. So where will the judges put them? Remember, they go into this in 17th place, so they're not really battling to be around Bobrova and Soloviev, but this will be good enough to put them into... Just looking down, where will it be? It's 6th place, in behind Weaver and Poje. So ahead of the Austrians, and that's the scenes in the tunnel just behind the panel of judges and technical specialists down there. So excuse me if our German colleagues sat next to me are a little bit noisy now. You might hear them. Do tend to get carried away. It's the German team on the ice now, runners-up in the German national championships this year. They go into this lying in 19th place. Here going, skating to Black Eyebrows and Hazel Eyes. It's a Ukrainian folk dance. This is Nelly Ziganshina and Alexander Gazi.
Good quality of skating, I was about to say, and he just caught an edge going into the straight line step sequence. Well recovered. transition into the combination spin. Good levels on those changes.
Wow, well, a lot to admire there. Really enjoyed that. Loads of energy, some finesse. After a rocky start, Alexander got back into the routine. A couple who train in Moscow and in Chemnitz, coached by Elena Kusturova and Svetlana Alexieva. We're so used to seeing the German teams training down in Oberstdorf with Martin Scott, Nicky, but not this two. And I was impressed with that, Nicky.
I was less so.
Right.
I thought the start, it looked really promising, but I'm comparing it to, you know, Kalinka from Bobrova and Soloviev, and that had so much more in terms of an overall performance within the original dance. And when you've seen something that's really high quality, I see that lacking in many areas against that, relatively. Some good positions. It's great on the spin and the lift. If we see a picture of it, you need to get into difficult positions for the lifts. Goodness me, it's one thing to talk about it. I couldn't even think of going there. But he gets right down in the crouch and a good balance point. Whoa, and he hasn't done that. I can't remember when that happened. Now here it is, the balance point. So the idea being, and he got onto one foot. I didn't know that. So not only is he down in the crouch, which is seen as a difficult position, she's in a difficult position, but he's on the 1 foot too. So a very difficult lift, very quickly into it. But I didn't like some of the other presentation. I didn't like it on the circular step sequence so much. It just started to get a little bit ragged for me compared to what we've seen. And it shows how difficult it is to particularly portray something that has so much energy in the music. You have to really be precise on every movement with the power and the changing of the feel within the music. It's good, but not as good as what I've seen so far.
Yeah, these two over a point behind the Russians on the compulsory dance, so unlikely that they're going to be competing right up at that level. But they're 19th, weren't they? Yeah, 19th after the compulsory for these two.
I mean, my two favourites so far were the Swiss, Krail and Peter, and Bobrova and Soloviev. Swiss down, but they did a really good OD2.
Okay, let's see where the judges put these two. They were 18th last year, 19th this year, so really looking to pull up if they possibly can. 46.58 their season's best, and be nice to get above that. They're not going to do that with those marks. 45.52 their original dance score, and that will have them in 7th place, in behind the Canadians. Two Canadians, remember, locked together just ahead of them. So still Bobrova and Soloviev for Russia, leading by quite some way, just over 1.5 points ahead of the Lithuanians.
Representing Japan
So now the Japanese national champions, their first time in a World Championships. They were 7th in the 4 continents this year, and they go into this original dance lying in 18th place. Both of these hail from the USA, but here representing Japan, Kathy and Chris Reed. This is a brother and sister team, and their mum is actually Japanese. Dad's American.
Smooth and good quality. Good point to mark the start of the circular step sequence with the change of the music. Lovely deep edges. Oh, well done for getting back and even attempting those twizzles.
Oh, what a shame. It was going so well. Just loved the rise and fall in the knee. Nikolai Morozov, Galit Shea, who coached them. Oh, dear me. A lot to admire. It's certainly a couple to watch for the future. These two, in fact, 2 years ago were the US novice ice dance champions and decided to skate for Japan. And I think it's a good decision. They look good out there.
Yeah, they've got a lovely flow. Some of the elements, perhaps on the circular step sequence, if you took it to pieces, you'd see it's not got a massive amount of difficulty compared to those we'll see later. But they have a good rise and fall, good skating technique. And gosh, that on the straight line step sequence was like, get out of my way. Good use of the music. On the straight line step sequence, the one that went wrong, here we have a lovely picture. Look, the idea, you deepen the edges, you push round, rise and fall on the ankle and the knee. It enables you to get the change of edge and also maintain the power.
Fantastic timing looking at those slow-mos.
Yes, lovely.
Well, this is it, isn't it? They cross over and bang. What are you doing here?
You'd think he could see her. That's what the nerves do. When you're both concentrating so hard on doing what you have to, and there's a crossover that you have to put into the step sequence. I hate that crossover.
It was a Mr. Bean moment, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, what happened next?
Yeah.
At least she didn't look at him and with daggers at the end. That was good.
No, they did get back into it very quickly, didn't they?
They did, and she didn't, I think, manage the second part of the second twizzle, but that's understandable. But it's good, you just take it in your stride, and free dance to come.
Yeah, it was a good effort, and it's all about gaining experience. First World Championships, they've done the 4 continents a couple of times, finished 7th both times, but relatively speaking, they don't have a lot of international experience. So.
And you sit ringside at the practices and you watch the others, and you have the rules in your head completely, and you can see, gosh, so they're doing that, and that. That's what I need to do. I need to copy and develop that bit. Oh, can you see? Yes. You all know with the coaching, won't you, Chris, that it is bringing it into the skaters' heads what they have to achieve.
Certainly is. And for the moment, 6th for the Japanese champions. We've still got 12 couples to go. So on the ice now, runners-up in the Italian National Championships this year. 13th in the World Championships they were last year. 7th in the Europeans. The Italians really showing us a lot of depth in their ice dance teams. 11th going into this original dance. Anna Capellini, Lucia Lanotte. And their music for this is a Balkan gypsy dance. Great rotation on that final lift, and they are thrilled with that performance. Got to say, I found the beginning of it a little weak. Just was looking for a little more, but certainly enjoyed it, and there seemed to be good technical content in that.
Yeah, the technical content I think was good too, but it's part the music for me, and part it became a little predictable, the same sort of movements repeated ongoingly. So you get, I got kind of into a rhythm of expecting what music, what rhythm would, and what movement, sorry, would happen. So very fast on the twizzles, very fast turns, but it's the light and shade we talk about. Maybe that wasn't coming over quite so much for me. I think the technical mark will be good.
The thing is with this this choice, isn't it, that we're hearing sort of Russian gypsy music quite a lot this afternoon, and you tend to compare one with another.
And when you've seen a great one.
Yeah, and we have with the Russians, Bobrova and Soloviev, who lead at the moment. That was exceptional.
Pippa was saying, I think I will scream if I hear more Russian and Ukrainian folk music. Only Bobrova and partner really had me enjoying it. Good on the skaters like Australians and Austrians and the Kurds for giving us some of their own country's folk music. And well, I think...
I would agree with that, and I can tell you that in the next 11 skaters, we've got it another 4 times. So it's not too bad.
It's not too bad. No. 4 out of 11.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's when you look to choose your music, you're looking to try and create something that's a standout, something that is different, and taking something from your own country like the Australians did was great. The Canadians were trying to do something that's maybe in popular music culture over there, and translate that. But this just didn't work for me. It's, you know, Italians, what Italian could I bring to the party? Pizza. I think a little bit more Italian folk dancing. I'm sure there's something. Pizza. Well, that'd be a prop.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Glass of Chianti and a pizza.
I don't know if you're allowed 2 props.
No, okay, fine.
But if you're offering later on, a glass of Chianti would be fine.
Certainly am. Good. Hey, Pippa, just looking ahead, the Americans that come up next, they're doing an African folk dance, so that should be good.
African folk dance, yeah.
That's what it says.
Good.
Now let's focus on the marks for Cappellini and Lenotti. Remember, they're lying in 11th place, so they're looking for something good here, and the marks are good. 32.80, the technical score. Very good. We thought technically it was good. They've dropped them for the second mark, the presentation score, and I go along with that. 57.05. They lead with 88.57. A new season's best for them. All good news for the Italians.
And I can see that would be what they'd get because of the technical content.
Very well done.
I would have had the Russians above them, though. I think, even though technically it's a big gap.
Okay, words of encouragement backstage for the couple. So here we are. They haven't let me down, look. So we've got the American number 3s. African folk dancers, I promise you. Lying in 12th place. Let's see what they can do with this. 26-year-old Kimberly Navarro and 23-year-old Brent Bomentre.
Step sequence, good rhythm for the required elements within the original dance. change, and oh, excellent exit on the lift. Sync on the twizzles, and difficult to do them with the leg extended.
Oh, really enjoyed that. Something a little different this afternoon, and a brave choice of music. Very difficult to skate to. Really good. Kimberly Navarro, Brent Beaumentre from the USA. And remember, in the compulsory dance, he skated in an outfit that he just had to go out to the streets and buy. They went down to a local dance shop and bought a suit for the tango because his suitcase didn't arrive in time for the original dance, and a friend flew over from the States with a spare pair of skates, a pair of skates that he was going to go into later in the summer. And thankfully for the original dance, Nicky was able to lend him something that was suitable for the... No, I'm only joking. I think his suitcase must have arrived, because I can't imagine they threw that together in the last couple of days. But I thought I'd seen you in something like this, Nicky, on a Friday night.
Yeah? No pictures. No pictures.
I've got some.
I think it's great to go for something that's a little different. Try and create an impact of that. I don't know whether they fully 100% managed to capture it. I don't know what it would be. Is this a Zulu dance, or it's an African folk dance? Okay, am I Zulu here, or where am I? I'm not 100% sure. So I got a part of the African feel to it. Their basic skating and transitions were quite open in the holds. Makes it easy to get the speed up.
Yeah, these two just behind the Italians.
Yeah, but some very good skating in there. I don't know what it is with me, but this afternoon, but still, you know, Bobrova, Soloviev, in terms of what they produced overall, I would have this afternoon higher. I mean, I just loved what they did, but... And this, you can see this, the twizzles went out of sync very close to the barrier at the end there. She very nearly hit that, so a bit of a mistake at the end there. The judges, of course, have a super slow-mo camera, which they can, on their screens, push up the different elements that are all in sections on their screen, and they can check against each element. What they do is the elements are called, and then they look at the grade of execution of each one. Now, because of the mistakes in that, you know, I wouldn't have thought that on this afternoon that performance would be higher than Bobrova Soloviev.
Well, they are going to go into second place with 83.58, 52.18 on the original dance. Just look at that, and in fact they're behind the Russians on the afternoon, but overall they go into second place. I love the look of these two. A couple that continue to improve. Fantastic attitude and approach. Go into this original dance in 6th place. They've got a Spanish flamenco for us. This is, of course, Nathalie Pechelat and Fabienne Borzat from France.
Superb setup. Beautiful. It's breathtaking, just the finesse they have and the presentation. Here's a prop. You saw it at the Europeans. Adds so much to this routine. Lovely. Superb transition into the spin. Different positions in it. Sensational. Well, that was special, and they keep it going right to the very end. Loved every second of that. Smooth, sophisticated, and stylish. Just brilliant. That's Nathalie Pechola and Fabienne Borzat at their best. I think it's improved since the Europeans.
It's absolutely spellbinding routine from start to finish. His presentation is superb. From the first moment he steps onto the ice, you forget that what the elements should be within the routine. You forget this is an original dance and it's part of a competition. It's pure entertainment done with wonderful skating. They use the prop, difficult lifts, difficult spins. They're using the offbeat as well as the onbeat. The straight line step sequence, circular step sequence, very difficult in the holds, but the way he stands, the way he portrays the Spanish dancer, she does it so well. But for me, when a couple really works, I start to watch the man, and he has presence out there. That was superb.
Yes, it really was, and they train in Lyon with Muriel Zazoui, and rumour has it they're not too happy down there, looking for somewhere else to train. They spent 3 weeks last year working with Alexander Zulin, really enjoyed that, so perhaps that's where they're destined to go. But you've got to say that Muriel's done a great job with them, because they've got better and better every year. Their 5th World Championships, 4 years ago they were 20th. 12th last year, 6th at the moment, and you've got to feel that that performance is at least going to keep them there.
Look at that precision on
clear hands,
you can just
fingers, feet.
The tiniest bit out in the second one, but gosh. And the lift before, we saw the one-arm lift, but he stood on the 1 foot, making it more difficult with a change of position in it. The use of the prop, not there at the start, and then it comes into play. It's a dangerous thing to have, because if it gets in the way, or she drops it, or it falls off the costume early on, look at the detail. Love it. Love it. Just love it. Every minute.
Brilliant. Well done, guys. Romain Huguenot and Muriel Zazoui sat alongside, so that's got to be in the lead. There's no doubt about that. And by some way. And look at those marks, 32.72. That's really, really good. They're going to get 60. The segment score, 60.67, so that will give them a total of 95.49. So virtually 7 points the gap between the Italians and the French now. A new season's best for them, and it's very, very exciting for the French team. Of course, Isabelle Delobel, Olivier Schoenfelder in the lead after the compulsories. They're second to last to go in the final group. So the French supporters here really excited. Good job from Natalie and Fabienne. Okay, that's Tanith and Benjamin getting ready. And there's a shot of Isabelle. Not in a costume yet, but just going through the routine. But we focus now on the British champions. 5 times British ice dance champions. 6th in the European Championships. And 11th in the Worlds for the last couple of seasons. Getting Platoff, their coach now. It is, of course, John and Sinead Kerr, and we wish them all the very best. They've got a Scottish dance for us. Erin Shaw, the first bit, and Auld Lang Syne by Robbie Burns, the second stage.
Beautiful introduction. Powerful edges. Great edges. Now, let's look at the twizzles. 1, 2, good. Tremendous! Fantastic! Well, if you weren't clapping along at home, I'm disappointed. Just about everybody in the arena on their feet. The first performance that the crowd have really been able to get behind. It's not just the Brits that are on their feet. Everybody in the arena pretty much standing up in appreciation of probably the best performance of their careers.
Well, just great, the energy that they portray, but also the delicacy and the authenticity of what they're portraying out there. It's a folk dance, it's a folk country dance that you're supposed to be doing within this ice dancing original dance part of the World Championships. And wonderfully skated. From the first moment they captured with the costume and with every movement their folk dance from Scotland. Great job.
Yeah, brilliant. They're both from Edinburgh, so been brought up on that kind of music, I suppose. But, oh, God, Nicky, that's definitely the best I've seen him skate.
It was
Thrilled for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, it's the detail. They're such powerful skaters that the edge work must get high technical marks.
Yeah, they were working those edges in that circular step sequence at the end.
It takes a lot of power, a lot of energy in your body to be able to push in and out of the edges throughout the routine, and that's what they were doing. But it's entertainment value, isn't it? They are superb entertainers, and that's what comes across to everybody.
Whew, I'm worn out. I feel like I've been out there with them.
And in the past, the twizzles have been a bugbear for John. Now, doing it, if we see it, if they carry on, we're on the camera that's going alongside them, see, holding the foot behind makes it more difficult. Very fast on them, did them both cleanly.
It's interesting the way the end of the step sequence was choreographed. He's got the easy twizzle, she's got the difficult one.
Well, that's the way to do it.
Absolutely. I second that. Well, congratulations, guys, and a really good job by Evgeny Platov. Now, of course, these two training in the States now with Evgeny, and it's paying off. We've got to give credit to Joan Slater, who worked with these two for so long. Your mum, didn't she?
She did indeed, yeah.
So she's done all the groundwork, and she must be proud for them. So, come on, let's have some good scores. Presentation 27. Woo. I was hoping for a little more than that, but it's going to be 93.34, the total score for them, which puts them into second place overall, just behind the French. They're second on the afternoon, but very close, 9/10 of a point in it, and second overall. So a great effort. Well done, guys. Really, really enjoyed it.
And now, representing the United States.
Now the excitement continues. The couple on screen now didn't want to be in this group by any stretch of the imagination. Got a bit of a hoedown now, I would think, for Tanith Belbin and Benjamin Augusto, fifth after their compulsory dance. Remember, they're Olympic silver medalists and bronze medalists in the World Championships for the last 2 years. Cotton Eye Joe, the first part.
If you've just come in, you're watching the original dance of the ice dancing, and we can have props this year. Let's see what happens with the hat then. That will be the prop. Energy, but very open, makes it easier to do the steps at speed. Great move into the lift. On one foot all that way, halfway along the arena.
Well, that was super. The lovely switch with a hat at the end through the lift. Really enjoyed it. And they weren't just playing to the judges, were they? They were playing to the crowd as well. And that's the important thing for them, I think, to really go out there and enjoy their skating. And then perhaps they can close the gap. Remember, they're over 5 points behind Delobel and Schoenfelder. And what are they from a bronze medal? Just over 3 points, or nearly 3 points away from third place at the moment.
Great idea. Good luck with the hat. But for me, I have doubts about it, because it seemed very open in the way they were skating the transitions, so there wasn't a huge amount of difficulty there. On the straight line step sequence, they went into it very fast, so they stayed on one foot. But because they were going so fast, I didn't know if there wasn't that much content in the first half of it. So I wonder, against other skaters who are doing more edges, more depth, they're doing it slower, how that compares technically. I would think it would get a lower overall mark. We'd have to see the level on that straight line step sequence. You see, it's open. If you'd see, even on the replay here, it's quite easy, the steps that he's doing. This was one of the lifts, not so easy on the spread. That's a difficult position. But even against the French, for me, I wouldn't have that ahead of the French.
Well, these two finished ahead of the French in the Grand Prix finals.
I mean, on the rankings, I would expect the marks to be coming out above them, but on what I've just seen, if I didn't know that they were right up there, I'd have the French above them. Because the French, it was unbelievable, really, the whole content. And this had, for me, some gaps in it. It's presented very strongly, good on the circular step sequence to play with the prop, but it was just the openness of it, which to me always, I know it's easier to skate open, but whether the technical content was bedded into, the key areas, we'll see.
Okay, 67.54 their personal best, 63.64 the season's best. And we're looking down. The marks are good, very good. 64.69 that will be. And add that with the score from the compulsories, 99.71. They've got a season's best here. A nod of approval there from Tanith. So indeed, Belbin and Augusto go shooting into the lead ahead of Pechelin and Borzat from France. Leading by some way and increasing the lead, I think.
And that's what I expected to see, but particularly on a presentation, I still would say the French, for me, were better today.
The Americans lead the French on the afternoon by 2.5 marks.
From Israel,
so we've still got 2 couples to go in this penultimate group. And we've got the Israeli couple on the ice now, lying in 9th place. They were 8th in the European Championships, skating to a Middle East folk dance here. This is Alexandra and Roman Zaretsky. This is a brother and sister team, originally coached by their parents, but now Galit Sheit and Nikolai Morozov send them on their way. This is one of Nicky's favourite tunes, Shick Shack Shock.
Great strength all the skaters have to get to and maintain those positions so quickly.
very sharp.
Oh, wow, they just about hit every beat of that music. Not easy to skate to. Really, really enjoyed it. A couple that continue to progress. A couple of years ago, when they first came into Worlds, they were 20th. They moved up 6 places last year, finished in 14th place, and they find themselves inside the top 10 at the moment, and that's got to be the target for them.
Huge amount of energy within that routine, and some very fine skating as well. On the circular step sequence, it's all the sharpness throughout it. They were leaving go to do some of the transitions on the holds, which makes it easier. It was open rather than being in more traditional dance hold. Trying to stay in those, the two-handed position on the turns is more difficult. And if we get a chance to see that on the slow-mo, you might be able to look at that. What happens is you leave go of your partner so you can spin. But they use the tension between the couple on the circular step sequence really well. And that enables you to keep going as you drive the edges if you're in balance with each other. So she was selling it, though. She's the Indian. What dance is it?
Well, it's certainly not Indian.
What is it?
Middle East.
Middle Eastern. Okay,
Yeah.
It's not Indian.
No. Were you watching it?
Oh, I was.
Yeah,
Well, I was
okay.
watching that, yes.
Behave.
I didn't have that view when I was looking from where we were. I love this sport. That's what it is. The twizzles. Couldn't
I'm
get
all
much
twizzled out, I think.
closer. I'm a little twizzled out at the moment.
Great expression. Love the choreography. These two born in Belarus. They were born in Minsk, and they moved to Israel when they were young. He was 7, she was 3. Coached by parents, and they must be very, very proud of how they progressed. Good move going to Gali, to Nikolai. Now training in the USA, Hackensack, New Jersey, the home at the moment. So where will the judges have them? 32.16, that's good. 58.10, is that right? Yes. Well, that has smashed their season's best. They've got to be thrilled with that result. Look at that, yeah. So that will be good enough to put them into 4th place, just behind the Kerrs. They're, what are they? 2 3/4 points behind John and Sinead at this stage. So 4th place it is for Alexandra and Roman Zaretsky. Very well done. We enjoyed that.
Skating on behalf of Azerbaijan and performing at Gypsy Russian.
Okay, the next one, if Petra's watching, just turn the volume down. We've got another Gypsy Russian dance for you here. Skaters from Azerbaijan, very good they are indeed too. Nikolai Morozov again in action. Walter stood by him, and Galit Shape involved in this team too. They're lying in 10th place. 10th in the European Championships, was 16th in the Worlds last year. So it's all looking good for them. This is 28-year-old Kristen Fraser, 32-year-old Igor Lukanin.
lifts work so well to add to the overall theme. Step sequence now, but into that the transitions were detailed, the choreography was interesting. I like that. Done. Difficult to do the second outside twizzle with the foot behind. In fact, very, very difficult.
Well, they really did work hard through that program. Another couple that's, well, making progress this year. They were knocking on a top 10 place, what, back in 2003, where they finished in 13th, and we thought that, you know, over the next couple of seasons, they'd be inside the top 10, but they started to go in the wrong direction. 16th the following year, and they were 16th last year, but to go into this original and skate like that, lying in 10th place, great job. Well done, Kristen and Igor.
Very well presented, well skated routine. A lot of what the judges are looking for in there. They're looking for clean skated edges. They're looking for sureness, looking for speed. They're looking for the transitions in particular to fit within the overall dance. And that, what was missing for me in Belbin and Augusto's routine, it was, to me, slightly empty in the transitions. That certainly wasn't. Some wonderful little snippets of choreography on the transition movements as well as the main elements themselves. Wonder if it just lost the drive towards the end of the routine. But I love the outfits, the way they flow, the way it emphasizes the culture and the feel that they're trying to portray.
And to stay in 10th, they've got to finish 5th at this stage, just ahead of the Italian couple, Cappellini and Benotti. And remember, they technically scored very well, didn't they?
They did, but it didn't have the quality of this. To me, that routine had become more predictable, and whilst technically it was very clipped with the steps, this has more depth.
Yeah, again, there's really nothing in it. 0.3 of a mark between these two and the Italians. So
in that step sequence, you see he's just slightly losing the alignment there.
Good speed through the lift towards the end of the program.
Of course, not the big size difference, that the height difference that some of the other couples enjoy, which gives you more flexibility as to what you can do in some of the lifts. So you have to treat it differently in how you're making the lifts work. John and Sinead with the same challenge, and they address it with such power and great moves. Probably stronger than Kristen and Iger in the overall lifts with John and Sinead.
Okay, let's see. a new season's best for them, and yeah, they're going to drop a place. It's going to be 6th overall for them, just behind the Italians, so well read Nikki there. So 88.21 their overall score. They finish up just under half a mark behind the Italians, but ahead of the Americans that we love.
I have a feeling coming out of that my favourite was Natalie and Fabien, the French, who skated first in the group. So because you're in this lower group, it shouldn't make any difference at all, according to the system that's now been here for a while. But still, I think it does make a little bit of a difference. I think Tanit and Benjamin are lucky on that, but I think again and again, as Peshala and Borzat skate so well, they're pushing to move up. They're saying you just cannot ignore it as you see them out there on the ice. Wonderful skating, and my favourite OD of the afternoon so far. I think Jana Sinead's will be second for me, which was excellent, but the French just pipped them to the post for me.
So what do you think is going to happen in this final group?
I'm wondering what Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir can do. They've always worked with this new system. And you said, Chris, you said something that I thought was really wise. It was one of your wazoo moments, one of your wisdom moments.
Sure, it was me.
It was. Yeah. It was about the fact that people that have grown up with this system, they haven't had to transfer into it. Isabelle and Olivier, you'll see them with the props. If you haven't seen this routine they do, it's wonderful. And I just think, you know, with the ability they've got, Tessa and Scott, they could really be starting to create an upset here. Because it's always been this way for them. These elements, the way it's all required, you know, the twizzles, the steps, the more prescribed elements within ice dancing have always been the way it's been for them. Whereas others have had to transfer from the old system. So I think they could create a bit of an upset. I think Federica and Massimo will be wonderful. Isabelle and Olivier. Olivier is, for me, I think my favourite male skater in the ice dancing always at the moment. He has such quality in his edges and the way he covers the ice. If you were here ringside, you would see the amount of speed he can create from nowhere. It's effortless, and the way that he portrays his partner and presents her. And we'll see what Meryl and Charlie can do. Chris, from
yes.
our message board,
yes,
you're getting a bit of coaching.
Okay.
A bit of coaching. Okay, this is from JB Spoonwort. Great commentary as usual. Terrific competition this year. Chris, here we go. When you say goodbye, you often say goodbye from Nikki and I.
Should be me.
And it should be Nikki and me.
You're right.
Just as if you say goodbye from me. Otherwise, you are saying goodbye from I, which always sounds funny.
Thank you for that. I shall
but you
take
know,
that on board.
I tell you, when that countdown is going, I'll be going goodbye, blah, 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 go off. Well, anyway, how you do it is amazing. Tony B from Kent says, Nikki, Chris, how are the number of skaters that can represent a country in each discipline in the Worlds or any skating competition allocated? I noticed the likes of Canada and the US sometimes have 2 or more skaters, whereas really most only have 1. And that is indeed the case. The higher up the tree you get, the more you can bring to the party. So, as I understand it, if you get into the top 10, then you can bring another person along. So if you get in the top 10 in the men, then next year you can have 2 from your country competing in the men's event. And I think the next one is the top 5, isn't it, Chris? I think
well, it depends what's happens if you've got 2 people competing, one's in top 5 and the other one's way down. It does make a difference because there's an accumulation of points.
Right, okay, so if you get 1 in the top 5, 1 in the top 10, then you can probably have another one come along, we think.
It's something like that. It's quite a complicated system, actually, but a very fair one. So the warm-up over, we're ready to get underway with this final group. Of course, if you're new to ice dance, the medal's not decided this afternoon. We've still got the free dance to go, which takes place tomorrow night. Always exciting, and it's going to be jam-packed in this stadium. It's not a bad crowd in for the original dance this afternoon, but we understand from tonight You cannot get a seat in this place, so the atmosphere will be electric. I've got Nikki's seat up for sale if anybody wants it.
It's not very expensive.
I'm not fussy, anyone will do. Okay, here we go. 5 couples still to skate in this folk country dance. Lying in 3rd place. And he is skating to 2 guitars. A Russian gypsy dance. This is Jana Khokhlova and Sergei Novitski, the Russian national champions.
And difficult and well performed spin to start off. Strong lift, hands mustn't go above your head. You were very close. Super transition into the step sequence. Very sharp on every movement.
Oh, goodness me. Just incredible. That was so difficult. Just one, the highlight for me actually was the last turn on the circular step sequence. They did a back inside counter right in front of the judges, and he had to turn his really sharp, and hers, because she was coming around the outside, was a really deep wide inside edge coming out of the counter. Brilliant. Just the control was breathtaking.
A very well put together routine from the point of view of what is required technically. And then once you've got those edges down, it's how you skate them, and they were attacking them. Such great condition, and she was selling the routine at 100 miles an hour throughout it. They couldn't have done more. I want to see a replay on that lift, the lift where she hits onto his thighs, just to see how high his hands are. I'm sure they'll have looked at it through the microscope and through the video to see, but his hands were really high, and they can't be above your head.
Is that the whole of the hand, or just, I suppose his fingertips go above his head?
Ooh, I don't know.
The seat's still up for sale.
You love me, really. You love me this afternoon anyway, because it's the ice dancing. Oh, impressed? No, I don't know. There we are. Well, I want to see lower than that. if you excuse me. And the flick out. Make it look effortless, but the amount of balance and conditioning and the speed they're going over the ice, it's just wonderful to see ringside. I think probably from a technical point of view, this is sharper and may have more content than the French, but still, I'm still batting for Natalie and Fabian in terms of the overall presentation of the original dance this afternoon. They would still get my gold medal.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt we really enjoyed that program, didn't we? But I'm pretty sure these are going to be good marks. They are 35.67. Very, very good marks. 65.99. They have smashed their season's best. Sensational score. So they go into the lead with 103.97. Look at that. Well, they weren't sure, were they? That reaction says it all. They lead by some way now. Over 3 points out in front. So very, very well done. In fact, nearly 4 points out in front. So Khokhlova and Novitski ahead of Belbin and Augusto. So, anxious moments backstage and anxious moments out on the ice now. A couple who have been a surprise to us, but not to this man. He knew their talent. Igor Spielband. What a team he's got back home in the States. Representing Canada, Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir. Remember these two, second place after the compulsories. Shock for us, but they expected nothing less. This a Russian folk dance entitled Dark Eyes.
Changes of positions within the spin, losing no speed on the rotation. Very difficult to do. Made to look easy. Intricate change in that lift. Beautiful edge changes. Wow, and the detail. She just missed the end of that second twizzle. See it on the replay. Maybe it was the choreography. Oh, wow.
Well, that was electrifying, wasn't it? What a shame about that last turn on the twizzle there from Tessa. Definitely missed one rotation. But goodness me, a fast pace to the program from start to finish. And got to be honest, when they started and I looked down at the music, I thought, Russian folk dance from a Canadian team, taking the Russians on at their own game. How wise is that? But they nailed it.
They did. They are fantastic skaters. So much content in there. The conditioning that you would have to be able to skate flat out. All these skaters in the original dance in great condition now, much more than in the whole days when I had to skate. I mean, now some were in great condition then, but now you have to be. Takes no prisoners, and they were just really driving through that. A load to admire. The first lift, the twist into it, and the position that he hit so quickly. Goodness me.
Well, this is a young team, Nikki. She's just 18. He's 20. There's, 10 years younger than the French that are in the lead at the moment.
Yeah. You know, until about 2/3 of the way through, I thought it's not quite their time yet. I don't know why. It was just like they got me with the content that they're doing, and I wondered there's another level to come yet from them. There's that lift. There's that lift.
Absolutely with you. I'm sure there's a lot to look forward to from these two.
But I mean, it is their time because they're in second place at the moment, so you can't take that away from them at all. And it's superb how they're presenting. Now let's just see. I just thought the alignment was going slightly out.
She came out early.
You take no prisoners on that. So of course the judges don't have a slow-mo like that. They have a super slow-mo, a dedicated camera for the judges, so they can evaluate that, and they will be told what the element is, and then they will look at how they mark it, +3 to -3 on the grade of execution.
So marks now for Tessa Virtue Scott Moir.
That'll cost them.
It will cost them. Technical score 34.58. Presentation 30.23. 64.81, if my maths is right. 103.52 their total score. So that puts them into second place. And it's still bad news for the Americans, isn't it? They're not making any inroads here.
Good for the Russians, though.
Yeah, the Canadians second on the afternoon ahead of the Americans. Russians still leading. So for the European Championships, they're really on good form this season. There's a familiar face, Pascual Camerlengo, who coaches them alongside Angelika Krylova. Haven't seen her here yet. This is 27-year-old Federica Fiella, 28-year-old Massimo Scali from Italy. They're in fourth place, and this is their Italian folk dance.
Something different. Skating well. Just one change on the spin, not the level of difficulty we've seen from some of the other skaters on that element. one foot for a long time in the circular step sequence makes it more difficult. Doing it so well.
No. Goodness me, we really are being entertained this afternoon. And again, I said at the beginning of the program that hats off to the ISU for having the courage and the wisdom to come up with this idea of a folk country dance for this original dance. It's working very, very well indeed. The skaters have taken it and run with it. And the Italians here, Federica Faella and Massimo Scali, choosing a wonderful Italian folk dance that suited their style of skating. Technically difficult, everything in it but the kitchen sink.
Yeah, they're superb skaters. I was talking to my mum earlier on. She said, I just hope he doesn't get too excited, because she knows him well, and he can sometimes react to the big arena and skate faster or try and do more than in practice. But he held it back, controlled the skating and the overall presentation. So a very, very good routine. It didn't completely capture the audience at times within it, but they maintained, you know, consistency. They did the elements. And they just sell it so well. Relationship between them good. Here's the twizzles.
Yeah, they look so secure over the skate.
Fantastic. Yeah, the movement of the hand within it, everything makes a difference in terms of the overall difficulty. If you add things that give you more difficulty, the technical specialists spot that, and the judges can see that. So an element would get a higher mark in its grade of execution, which is what you aim for. Now, I was looking at his back arm here. His back arm was above his head. I'm sure they know the rules much better than I do, so that wouldn't be taken down. It's probably not a supporting arm, just a balance point arm. Because, of course, in ice dancing, we're trying to create and maintain a differentiation between ice dancing and pair skating. Whereas pair skating, of course, can have the arms fully extended above the head, not in ice dancing. Well done.
Yeah, really well done. Okay, their personal best in the originals, 58.79. And I can tell you, it is very good news for the Italians. 34.16, 29.36. So 63.55 they're going to get there. They smashed their season's best. And just trying to have a look down here, the segment results. It's third place overall for Faella and Scali. And they must be thrilled, ahead of Belbin and Augusto. So here we go, leaders in the World Championships. Doesn't that sound good to them? Runners-up in the Europeans this year. Of course, they were champions last year. This is 29-year-old Isabelle Delobel and 30-year-old Olivier Schoenfelder.
We don't want to lose pictures of them because the setup is all part of the routine.
Now, this is a Celtic country dance from Brittany in the north of France.
And remember, this is the first year we can use props. And the scarves are just that, beautifully incorporated into this routine. seamless into the straight line step sequence. Difficult. Lovely edge change. It's the rise and fall on the knee and in depth in the ankle.
Well, a fantastic ending. Technically, you've got to admire it. It didn't get the crowd behind them. Not like some of the performances that we've seen, but nevertheless, no real mistakes in there. Just, I don't know, Nikki. To me, something was missing in that. It just seemed flatter than I remember from the Europeans.
It did seem a little flatter than Europeans in the middle of the straight line step sequence. I just would love to see it again. Tiny touch off balance, perhaps, with the hands above the head on the first set of twizzles from Olivier. But and I was left wondering about the comparison on the spin against the Canadians, who had at least 3 changes of position in the spins, as did the Russians. So some of those elements not having the degree of difficulty as some of the competitors that have gone before them, just on that one for sure. But the use of the props, very clever indeed. The lift in particular, where she's balanced and he's holding her by the scarves, that works so well. Taking something and creating something new. That's what I always love in ice dancing. Here is that move. Balancing on the boot. Hands can't be above the head, just on line. Very difficult. And as ever, look, we talk about rise and fall on the knee and the ankle. Can you see it? You rise and then you fall, you push down to get the change. You rise up for the turn, so you rise as you turn and then bend down to push round on the edges. And if you get that technique right, it's like a skier. You can generate loads of power without even changing feet.
It's called a power pull.
A power pull?
That's what it's called.
I didn't know it's called a power pull.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, I love sitting next to you. I learned so much.
No. Got to earn and keep somehow.
A power pull.
Okay, just to put you in the picture, the Russians lead. Canada second, Italy in third. But in fact, the Italians are fourth on the afternoon. The Americans have closed the gap slightly on the Italians. So.
And there's a wonderful quality in their presentation, the way they create the overall routine and then relate to each other too. Good technical scores. Certainly good. 35.3, 67.25 the score for Isabelle Delobel and Olivier Schoenfelder. That will give them 107.98. So they increase their lead. A new season's best for them, yes. And there it is, number one, Delobel Schoenfelder. And there's a gap at the top.
There really is. The Russians just behind, and then the Canadians, but there's nothing between Russia and Canada.
Livello così alto raramente si è visto, pensare che manca la porta più forte del
So in the top three, Tessa's mistake, in particular on that, those twizzles, it's cost them dear.
It certainly has. Now, one couple to go, and the Brits will be interested in this. They're lying in 7th place, just 1 place ahead of John and Sinead Kerr. It's Merrill Davis and Charlie White for the USA, ranked number 2 in the States. Here, skating to a Russian folk dance and another version of Kalinka.
On the twizzles.
Wow, it was good. Tough for them to skate at the end of the afternoon, the end of a group like the one that we've just seen. Remember, they're in 7th, so they're not battling for a medal, and it's going to be mighty tough because just ahead of them, it's Natalie Peshala and Fabienne Borzak. Just behind them, John and Sinead, and both those teams skated superbly.
And more than that for me, I've seen Ekaterina Bobrova and Dmitry Soloviev do a definitive version of Kalimka this afternoon in the original dance. And if you put the two side by side, I know the one that I would prefer, and then you'd have to dig into the technical detail. So whilst these guys can skate, gosh, can they skate, it did not capture the feel of that dance as did Ekaterina and Dmitry. So I'm left with that as a big question mark here. I think John and Sinead's captured more of a folk country dance with more authenticity than this did. So that would be an important part of the criteria of looking at it for me. As far as the technical is concerned, I think on the circular step sequence, some of it wasn't that difficult because the turns were done separate. And it's just a different style, the American style, but a lot of it was quite open. So compared to what some of the other competitors have done around them,
That one didn't grab me quite as much. Difficult down on the one knee, holding in the lift, of course. You've got the full weight of the lady, and you're holding it down in a drag, so that makes it difficult.
Well, if my maths is correct, I think there's 1.32 the difference between Meryl and Charlie and John and Sinead. That's the margin that they have going into this.
And of course, there's two parts to the mark, the technical and the presentation score. And presentation score includes the transitions, the performance and execution, and important, the composition and the choreography. Now, often I think the judges just group that whole mark together to get an overall place mark. But from what we've seen in the past. But even when you do that, I think they'll be lucky if they hold on to where they are. I think John and Sinead will jump above them.
Well, let's see. It's not bad. 60.36 that'll be. Not a season's best for them, but that will be enough to keep them ahead. And it looks to me as though they've increased their lead. Let's just have a look at that. Indeed they have. They finish ahead on the afternoon of the Brits, so they've increased their lead slightly.
They got a higher presentation mark than John and Sinead. How that can be against what that was, representing a Russian folk dance, against what John and Sinead did with a Scottish dance, just, I can't see that at all.
No, I'm with you there, Nicky, but that's how it is. And there are two American teams in the top 7, so there's confirmation of how they stand. Tremendous performance from Isabelle and Olivier, 107.98. They extend their lead over the Russians, 103.97 there. The Canadians drop a place, and that mistake on the twizzles costing them. The Italians in 4th, they'll be pleased with that, hanging on by the skin of their teeth ahead of Belbin and Augusto. That's the situation further down. Confirmation that John and Sinead stay where they were going into this original dance. 8th place, that's still great though, and hats off to them. They really did perform well this afternoon. The situation further down there, the Japanese team, 18th place for them, and all of the skaters you see there will be skating in the free dance. So well done to them. It was a tough battle around 23rd, 24th place, and the 6 teams that you see on your screen there will not make it through. Well, what an afternoon. It's been fantastic. Some really great ice dancing. Really hope you've enjoyed our coverage this afternoon. Until later on this evening, 8 o'clock Central European time, 7 o'clock in the UK. The ladies free. Medals decided tonight. Join Nicky and me for that. Bye for now. Welcome along to the Scandinavium in Gothenburg, Sweden. Delighted to have you with us this afternoon for the final stage of competition in the World Figure Skating Championships. It's been a marvelous week, and it promises to be a sensational afternoon. It's the conclusion of the men's event, the men's free, the top 24 skaters battling it out here in the men's free program. There were 46 skaters at the outset. The lineup here, we've got Rakim Galiev for Kazakhstan first to go, then Chenjiang Li for China, then for Slovakia, Machipura, Anton Kovalevsky for the Ukraine, then we've got